Donald Trump looked absolutely awful during his disastrous speech that just wrapped up in Rome, Georgia. Look how tiny this crowd was. Like 100 people there in Rome, Georgia. Donald Trump picked this location because it's Marjorie Taylor Greene's former congressional district, but Donald Trump could not draw a crowd. Again, look how tiny the crowd is, and look how disgusting and awful Donald Trump looked. What shade of face is that even? Now, as Donald Trump was giving this disastrous speech, he began by giving a shout out to the people on the Epstein list. So he said, shout out to Howard Lutnick. He's doing a great job. Doing a great job, what, Donald? Bringing his little children back in the day to Epstein's island where child sex trafficking was taking place? You think he's doing a good job? Anyway, here, play this clip.
I also want to thank Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who's got more good ideas. He's a very, very successful guy. Thank you, Howard. Howard Lutnick. We have some big things happening.
Then Donald Trump kept on talking about how he wants to go to heaven, but he doesn't think he will make it to heaven. Here's what he had to say. Let's play this clip.
It's not worthy of heaven. I'm not going to make it. And I was having a good time going, I was having fun. I hope to make it. But I doubt I will, to be honest with you. A lot of you will. I'm not so sure. But I was having fun.
Now, if you're asking what this speech was supposed to be about, apparently it was supposed to be about affordability, but Donald Trump said he doesn't need to talk about affordability because he won. He goes, I won affordability. It's over, so nobody talks about this issue anymore. What the hell are you talking about? We're, of course, talking about it, as well as your cover-up of a child sex trafficking ring. Here, play this clip.
You notice? What word have you not heard over the last 2 weeks? Affordability. Because I've won. I've won affordability. I had to go out and talk about it.
Now, after saying that he wants to go to heaven, after saying he won affordability, he then said that he once flew into Iraq, and he was so brave that he actually deserves a Congressional Medal of Honor for flying into Iraq once, and that he thinks he's braver than our troops. This is what he was telling the people of Rome, Georgia. Play this clip.
And I rebuilt the military my first time. I said, why would it take 4 years? They said, well, I would. So I decided to go to Iraq, and I flew to Iraq. I was extremely brave. In fact, so brave I wanted to give myself the Congressional Medal of Honor. I said to my people, am I allowed to give myself the Congressional Medal of Honor? And, I've given out so many to guys that are seriously brave. I mean, they come in with the arms are missing, the legs are missing. The stories are so unbelievable. And I said, no, it's a little stretch if I gave myself one of them. But it's one of those things. Someday I'm going to try. I'm going to test the law. Brandon, I'm going to say, let's give it a shot. Maybe I'll win in court after everyone sues me. After radical left lunatics sue me. Now watch. The fake news, I'm having fun. The fake news will say, Donald Trump wants to give himself the Congressional Medal of Honor. But he was rebuffed by the audience, who stood up and booed the hell out of him. No, they say that kind of stuff. It's amazing.
Now, it should also be noted that while this speech was taking place in Rome, Georgia, there was another speech taking place in Georgia for the gubernatorial race, and the Democrats there drew more people in a local high school than Donald Trump was able to draw. Donald Trump then brags that he waived his salary, even though he's made billions of dollars in quid pro quo, emolument clause violations, grifting off the American people, basically stealing from the American people, in my opinion. Donald Trump says that he waived his salary, and so he's not making $2 million off his salary, so he's a schmuck, and we should be thanking him more, he says. This is how psychotic this individual is. Play this clip.
I'll pay it, okay? You know what? I don't even talk about this much. I get no credit for it. So, as president, I make $2 million over 4 years, $2.5 million. I waived it. I'm the only president that ever waived it. And they never, ever talk about it. But every week, some of the scum from the New York Times will call, did he waive it? And if my secretary would say, yes, he did. If I ever said, no, he didn't, it would be a headline scandal.
He then goes on to say how much he loves tariffs and that we would be a dead country right now if it wasn't for his tariffs. And as you know, tariffs are raising the prices of everything and is screwing us right now. Donald Trump is a moron. Here, play this clip.
And to think I have to be in the United States Supreme Court for many, many months waiting for a decision on tariffs. Without tariffs, this country would be in such trouble right now. Without tariffs, this country would be like your company was 2 years ago. What a difference it made.
He then tells a story about French President Emmanuel Macron, and then Donald Trump starts randomly yelling, and he goes, and I told Macron, you're doing this. Again, what are we even watching here? Play this clip.
Not do that, Donald. Why would I do that? I would be out of business. They said, no, you're going to do it 100%. No, I will not do that. I will not do that. Yes, you will. You're going to do it. And he said, no. I said, here's the story. If you don't do it, I'm going to put a 100% tariff on all of the wine and champagne that you sell into the United States. And you know what he said? I will do it. I will gladly do it.
Obviously, Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries is in Donald Trump's head as Donald Trump starts to call Jeffries low IQ. Play this clip.
It's one of the greatest bills ever passed. Remember that when you hear these phony guys like Hakeem, our low IQ, I guess. I mean, he's a pretty low IQ individual. But I hear him talking about no tax on tips doesn't matter. No tax on overtime matters. No tax on Social Security for our 1.8 million Georgia seniors matter.
Trump goes on to say that he's lowering prescription drug prices again by 900%. And he goes, there are two ways to calculate percentages. There are not. Play this clip.
The Republicans should win on that alone. Your drug prices are coming down by 70, 80, 90%, or, depending on the way you figure it, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900%. Think of it. Depending on the way you want to calculate. There's two ways of calculating that number.
He then starts saying that he brought in trillions of dollars and again just randomly starts yelling. Play this clip.
Adding $9 trillion in value to your savings. I added $9 trillion and your retirement accounts and 401ks are at the highest level they've ever been.
Then he brings on longtime political loser Herschel Walker, who says we gotta vote because if we don't vote, genders, penises, vaginas, gender, everybody, bathrooms, transgender, bathrooms. You think this is going to work on us again? Here, play this clip.
So we got to get out and vote and do the same thing, because if we do not do that, we will lose this country, because men shouldn't be in women's sports. I know what a woman is. I know that guys should not ever be in women's sports. I know that we should always respect the law because it's written in the Bible.
And then Donald Trump's like, yeah, what woman wants to tackle that guy? You want to tackle him, girls? Okay, this is it's like a weird speech. It's like weird human behavior. Here, play this clip right here.
I'm looking at these two guys. They're like steel. I'm hitting them in the shoulders, and it's like my hand isn't the same. They're like steel. Any women would like to tackle these two guys, please? I don't know. This whole thing with men and women's sports is not working out too well. What a joke.
Then Donald Trump says, you know what? We're doing so good. Everyone's going to be tired of winning. You're going to be so tired of winning. You're exhausted because things are so amazing right now. Okay, play this clip.
And you said, you remember when the president used to tell the story about getting tired of winning? You reminded me. I haven't told that story in a long time. You're going to be so tired of winning. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to get tired of winning. Remember I say your governor or Kelly Loeffler. Somebody's going to come up and say, President, please, we're winning too much. We're not used to it. George is not used to it. We can't take it anymore. People are working too hard. They're making too much money. Please. We don't want to win anymore, sir. It's too much. I said, nope. We're going to keep on winning. The people of Georgia want to win. I'm sorry, Kelly. The people of Georgia. The people of Georgia want to win.
And then, of course, it's not a Donald Trump speech without him obsessing over and whining over former President Biden. Play the clip.
So I apologize for that, Kelly. I apologize. So it's the worst inflation in 48. Actually, I think they're wrong. I think it is actually in history. We had the worst inflation in history under Sleepy Joe Biden. He was sleeping while you were working. Now, he was sleeping while you were trying to get a job. You weren't working. And now we have the most people working in history.
There you have it. Let me know what you think, everybody. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. Thank you all so much for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.